Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome guys. Make sure this is all right. All right guys, everybody welcome in. Never any mention of two dogs ever before. Yes, Laurel Traponi, you're right. Guys, what a night. What a night of TLC's 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. I don't even know where to start. These couples are insane. And I just like between Angela and Michael, Paul and Karini, who else? Elizabeth and Andre. Elizabeth and Andre. My fiance says I can't say Andre, but that's how you say it. I'm not going to stop. Larissa and Eric, that's a whole topic in itself, and her going through his phone. And Jess and Colt. And Swelu and Kalani. God, there's so many couples, guys. All right, so where do we start? Guys, welcome in. Everybody keep piling into the room. Roberta, welcome. Mo, hi from UK. Wow, hi from Los Angeles. Welcome, guys. Okay, guys. It doesn't show me how many people are in the room right now for some reason in the first few minutes, but before we get started in all of this, and we have a lot to cover, I just want to encourage everybody to please call in tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun, or at least I am by myself, because I'm going to sit here and recap 90 Day Fiance. I have a lot of energy before I go to bed. This is exciting. Okay. And before I get started, I want to say thank you again so much, everybody, for reaching out, and thank you guys so much for the super stickers, the last chat. Sometimes it shows that I don't get to everybody, and I don't know how I'm missing people, but I'm going to download this thing called the Virtual Assistant, and if you guys missed it, I uploaded a new video today in place of the Join Me Live for Morning 5. I uploaded a new video today on how to use Super Chat stickers and Super Chats. So if you guys missed it, make sure you go hit the video. It does me a big service. If you like the video, comment on the video, share the video, and if you're not already, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, as I say in all of the videos. So, all right, guys, with that being said, we have 16 people in the room. Hi, Adam, how are you? Hi, Teresa, Shan. I'm going to take a sip of water before we get started. This is going to be a big one. Guys, while I take a sip of water, who do you guys want to start with? Name a couple in the chat while we wait for everybody to get in the room. Name a couple. Okay, Carmen went first. Okay, so we're going to start with Elizabeth and Andre. All right, so this was interesting anyways, and only appropriate because this is how we started the episode. Hi, Amber. We're walking up to the Moldovan airport, and Elizabeth's so excited that Chuck and Charlie are there to visit. If you guys are unfamiliar with who Chuck and Charlie are, they're the brother and dad. Is this hat like crooked and cockeyed? The brother and dad. So Colt and Debbie, I'll do next. Hi, Debbie. So she says, are you excited to see my brother and dad? And he goes, not really, which is kind of like such a bad way to start off anyways. But they get in, and of course, just to make things even better, they have troubles with their luggage, and you guys know how this goes. But I was curious what you guys thought about the way they came in so hot. At first, I was really annoyed with Andre because he was being such a kind of a jerk about them even arriving down from starting from the food that they were going to eat. Oh, they can cross over and go to McDonald's maybe for American food or whatever, all the way to oh, I'm not really excited about them coming, and warning his family about him. It was just a bad taste in my mouth the whole time. I'm like, why are you being a jerk? Elizabeth's dad's paying for the whole wedding. So that's what I kind of thought. And then they arrive, and the way they acted in the car, I can't really defend them. It was, do you have barbecue here? Do you have this? Why do they have this? What's this? Do you drive on this side of the road? Do you have police officers? How do you get out of a ticket? How do you get a ticket? Were you a patrol officer? Oh, what did you do? How long? Why'd you leave? It was so many questions, guys, and it was so inappropriate. Actually, Elizabeth should have really stepped in and said something, but you know she's not going to say anything to Daddy when Daddy's paying for the wedding. At least that's my opinion, guys. What do you think? He is let's see. He is a pompous butt. Oh, okay. Okay, so I wanted to get to the point. They were talking about his whole history of being a patrol person, and he said that he wasn't really pulling people over or stealing their $10 for seatbelt violations, I guess. He was actually inside, and he didn't do it anymore. For some reason, he got in trouble. And when Chuck and Charlie were saying, come on, why'd you get in trouble? He was pretty much just standing his ground saying, this is none of your business. I know you guys just watched the same episode that I did, but I'm just curious, guys. Do you think that he owes it to them, to be a little bit honest, considering they came all the way there for him, and also that's the grandfather of his baby? I mean, I think it kind of makes sense why he would want to know, especially because he's about to marry his daughter again. And then later at the table, it was a little bit awkward because while just the same as when Andre's dad came all the way to America and they saw how great he was and how respectful and his manners, they got to come all the way back to Moldova and see how awesome Andre's mom is. She made a whole table setting full of dinner. It was amazing. The whole setup was amazing. If you missed it, you have to go back and watch the episode. They were so impressed with the fact that she could make such a big spread in such a small kitchen. So if you missed it, you have to go back and see it. They could have waited a day of the entire. Yes, Shan. Yes, I agree with the same thing. It's like they got off. They were gearing each other up. They were probably throwing back like vodka. I'm from Florida too, so I know how it works. They were probably throwing back the vodka or the bourbon on the plane, and they're like, yeah, we're going to ask him so many questions when we get there. That's what I think. This question shouldn't have been an issue for Andre. If he got approved for the K-1 visa, then his background should be fine. Andre is just okay. Yes, he owes it to them. He is shady and very self-centered. The royal Traponi coming through. Oops, they could have waited a day. Oh, yes. The food looked amazing. I thought so too. That was another thing. I thought the food looked amazing. I understand if the family might not want to eat rabbit or something if they're not familiar with it. Guys, fun fact about me, and it's not like, I mean, you guys probably don't even care, but I didn't try ketchup until I was 21 years old. 21 years old in Las Vegas. That was the first time that I tried ketchup, so, yeah. Or no, 20 years old. Sorry, 20 years old. I don't want to lie to you guys. I was 20 years old. So I understand being picky if you don't want to sit there and eat rabbit. If you want fried chicken, I get Elizabeth's point. Especially over here in America, you know, I hear a lot of times talking to my friends from different places, you know, they'll say, over there, you guys are so picky, or you're not open-minded, or you guys like really fatty foods. And, you know, there's a lot of opinions about the foods that we eat over here. Okay, so with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link and see if anybody wants to call in. I'm going to keep it moving in the meantime, so if nobody wants to call in, that's okay, but I just want to invite you guys to. All right, guys, 24 in the room. That's not bad for switching the time last minute. And guys, I apologize about switching the time last minute. I'm trying to, I'm on the Pacific Coast, so I'm trying to get 90 Day Fiance on East Coast time ahead, and it's a whole mess. But I'm trying to get ahead so that way I can get this out for all of you guys on the East Coast. I don't know why I can't talk right now, guys. But anyways, thank you guys for joining. 24, guys. Let's push for 50. That would be awesome. And thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. You guys are the best. Let's move on to Colt and Debbie. So, Colt and Debbie. Okay. Colt, Jess, and Debbie, actually. We're back at Jess's family's house. When they walk in and they meet the family, I thought the family was nice right off the bat. But once we start getting into the whole questioning portion of this thing, when the dad starts questioning Colt, and Colt finally gets the approval of Jess's dad, which is crazy because that happened in 2 minutes. I don't know how. Not to give my opinion, because I don't like to give an opinion, but I don't think I would have given my approval to Colt that fast. I mean, come on. Love you, Adam. You're going to be a star. Serenity, thank you. Hey, did you catch on the episode before this one that even Andre's friends were dogging him? Yes, I think that they were making fun of him, saying he was a housewife. He is, isn't he? We can see it. We can say oh, you guys are awesome. Colt is just too much mama's boy. Yes, so Colt is a mama's boy. But anyways, moving back to the whole situation, guys, that happened, they end up sitting down and talking at the table and asking the hard questions. And she said she could get married to him. And Debbie was like, I don't think so. Like, that's way too soon. Guys, don't you agree that that's way too soon? And you can see Jess has had a few. And Jess is like, no effing way. Like, you're not going to tell me. And she's already sick of being interrogated anyway. So Jess pretty much says, you know, I don't care about your opinion, and keep it moving. And they go back and forth, and it becomes a bigger thing. And then Colt has to put her in a taxi and send her off on her way. With that being said, guys, before I say any more, I do have a caller in. I have Debbie in to call in, hopefully about Debbie. So, hi, Debbie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I like how we're both on the hat thing tonight.
Well, I'm sure mine is for a different reason because my hair is just a mess and I don't feel like doing anything with it.
That's me. That's the same reason.
Oh my God.
All right.
Okay,
So,
so
who did you
the
want to talk
dinner,
about first?
yeah, the dinner with Debbie and Colt, I had a few issues. Okay, so Jess's dad asked his questions or whatever. I think he gave up a little bit too easy. He was like, "Oh, okay, so you can go ahead and have my daughter. Great. You seem nice. You don't
Yeah.
understand what Colt is saying."
Yeah.
How do you figure that one out? Yeah, it didn't make any sense. And then it was okay for Jess's dad to ask his questions of Colt, but then when Debbie said a perfectly rational thing, don't you think this is moving too fast? Because you've got somebody on the other side of the table, oh, you're getting married at my house. Well, when? Why? Where'd that come from? Hold
Yeah,
on.
in Brazil, in the yard. Yes. Yeah.
And then I thought, I'm not a fan of Deb, even though we share a name, but I thought Jess was super disrespectful, cursing at her and throwing her hand up at the table. And then, of course, Colt says nothing because he loves that confrontation between the women.
It's so weird that he lets that happen, and it's almost like by him saying nothing, it's doing more of a disservice.
It's his out. It's his excuse for why everything fails. Debbie jumps in and he's like, oh, well, it's Debbie's fault. And then whoever the chick is that's with him blames Debbie, but not him. You know,
So
it's just very, very weird. And then
but
he
Debbie
said,
has a point. This is awkward. This whole thing. I mean, to rush into something like marriage, there's no other point that it would be for if it weren't for the green card process. Otherwise, why would you be rushing into it? You guys have met each other 4 times.
And here's the thing, what also struck me as odd. So the dad was asking all these questions because he wanted to make sure that that Colt wasn't taking advantage of Jess and just only wanted her for sex or whatever. You have this big blowout with his mom. Colt sends her home by herself in a foreign country, and then spends the night raw dogging with her in his house. And then does the walk of shame back to the hotel. Like nothing about that makes sense. Not a thing.
No. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but this just screams like, okay, as long as you take care of my daughter and give her a better life in America, even as creepy as you look and sound, like, you can have her.
But here's another thing with that. Did you notice that house? That's a really nice house. That's a really nice house for Brazil.
That's what I was thinking.
And did you also notice the gentleman Hans? I'm not sure how he's related, but as soon as I heard his name and saw his features, I was like, oh, so a German that came, he's probably a descendant of a German that came after World War II. So they've got money.
Wow. Investigator Debbie.
Because how else is she getting those nanny visas?
Yeah.
You have to pay for those at the consulate's office.
And do you think that it's their way of trying to pay to put her out there to see if maybe she'll meet somebody and have a better?
Yeah.
You don't think it's for studying or something like that?
No.
Okay.
Because if it was studying, she would be in school. But I guess I don't think she has any interest in going into school or anything like that. She's going to do the nanny. What did she say? In 6 months, she had 6 or 7 dates. You know, she contacted Colt on social media. And what is she appealing to him with? Sex. Because she knows he likes it. It was on the last season.
Yeah. Investigator Debbie.
Well, a lot of things aren't making sense, though. To me, there's a lot of gaps there, but
no, and
yeah.
Even when Debbie, I thought it was funny when Debbie called it out, and she was like, you know what? It was wrong that she put me in the taxi and whatever, and he's like, oh, well, I don't remember or whatever.
He's lying.
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean you don't remember? You do remember. You just feel like an a-hole, but it's more important to sleep with your girlfriend because, that's obviously, he's a dude.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, I don't know. Honestly, Debbie shouldn't have been there in the first place. That shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have
True.
bought her ticket. Um,
True.
he shouldn't have bought her ticket. Debbie, also, he should have had a chance to meet the family alone first.
Mm-hmm.
That's awkward. And then I don't blame Debbie for chiming in because Debbie, like they're all sitting there having this conversation. It would have been almost fake if Debbie wouldn't have said anything. If she would have just been like, oh, yeah, Mary, babies. No, that's
But
not how
he should have known that was going to happen. Debbie's been upfront from the beginning when she invited herself on this trip, and he paid for his own torture by bringing her there. She said, yeah, she said from the beginning, if I see something, I'm going to say something.
Yeah, I would have been like, see you back at the airport when I get back. Yeah, no way.
The whole thing is weird. I think they need a better producer for this particular story.
I agree.
I'm not believing it.
Well, Debbie, I appreciate you calling in. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down and move on to the next couple.
Okay.
All right. Guys, how awesome was Debbie? I love when you guys call in and engage, and Debbie's not wrong. This was a little bit of a loony situation. I don't know if I'm Team Debbie or Team Jess. Real quick, I want you guys to just go ahead and sound off in the chat. I wish I had a better synonym. First of all, guys, sound off in the chat and tell me if there's a better synonym for sound off. And then second, let me know if you're Team Debbie or Team Jess, because the way that Jess talked to Debbie, I can't agree with, because if somebody talked to my mom like that, no way. But the way that Debbie's treating Jess from the get-go, but then again, Debbie wasn't really treating Jess bad until Jess sat there and immediately said, I can't wait to have sex with Colt. So Jess started this. Actually, I'm Team Debbie again. Team Debbie, 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 Debbie. I'm Team Debbie. I'm Team Debbie, the one who called in, and I'm Team Debbie, the mother. That's my stance. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. We talked about Elizabeth and Andre. We talked about Debbie, Colt, and Jess. Let's talk about my favorite couple, Angela and Michael. Okay, so Angela and Michael are next on my list. First of all, I want to say how funny the fact, going back to the last episode, the fact that Michael would even think bringing Angela to a group of women to convince her that Nigeria would be better. Let's talk about 5 reasons that's really stupid. And I hate to use the word stupid, but let's talk about this. 1, her mother who's at home at the time, unfortunately not in good health. 2, her daughter. 3, babies. 4, her whole entire life. And 5, did you see what she acted when it came to the apartment, the bed, and the way of living with the toilets and it's just a lifestyle. That's a lifestyle. She's not moving to Nigeria. And you shouldn't bring 3 pretty women to try to convince her. That's not going to convince her. That was stupid. I hate the word stupid, but it was stupid. Okay? Let's see what you guys are saying. Team neither. Okay. I'm team neither. Debbie was rude and weird to Jess. Jess was also rude to Debbie. That was nuts. Cuba, are you for? Michael must be sadistic to do that to Angela. Bernie was team Debbie. All right, guys. So keeping it moving. So then, anyways, that's what I was talking about, was the whole bringing her to meet the people. That was last episode. So moving on, we end up going to the market this episode. And this was crazy too, because he brings her to go get food and he's trying to convince her to cook for his mother and his aunties and stuff. And she's like, I'm not doing it, Michael. I didn't come here to cook. And he's like, it's going to be okay. You're going to cook traditional Nigerian food. This is the Nigerian way. They come to the house and you cook for all of us, and you make the food and the plates, and you do all of it by yourself, and it's going to be great, fantastic. Can't wait for you to cook for us. And then brings her through a market, which she's already not thrilled. And then the smell was terrible. And then all of a sudden she sees a goat head. So of course she takes off running. She's not having it. The goat head just peed PISSED'd her off. I gotta talk to Sherelle and ask her what I can say on here because I don't know what's a cuss word, and I usually have a little bit of a potty mouth, so I don't think that. Anyways, I just have to limit myself because I don't want to get in trouble on here. But they ended up getting mad or whatever, so he keeps on telling her that she has to cook, and she's like, I'm not cooking for them, after vomiting on the side of the road by the market. And she says, if you want to cook it, you can cook it your damn self. You cook it your damn self. And she says, I'll order pizza. That's exactly what he does. He cooks it. I think it was plantains. Was it plantains, guys? I think it was plantains, yes. Okay, so he cooks it. They tasted awful. They were not having it. And first of all, the mom and them, they were like, why are you cooking anyways? And then she has the pizza, and she's like, Mama, anybody want pizza? Try the pizza. And they actually liked the pizza. So it was funny how it worked out in the end. I'm going to go ahead and bring in somebody who called in. There's a little bit more to the story, but she's always pretty spot on with her facts and opinions. So I'll bring her in now.
Hey!
How are you?
Did I get the memo?
Yes, you and Debbie did get the memo. I think it's just because, I don't know, it's a later thing.
I have no makeup on, so it's like a good cover.
You know what? Can I just tell you something before we get started here? One, I love the fact that there's 45 people in the room and that I'm about to hit 50 with you. Two, I love the fact that you're a woman about a good theme. Do you know what I mean by that?
You called it. You saw right through me.
Do you know what that means?
Well, everything in life has a theme. Everything I do has a theme.
Well, I was going to say, because your theme is you are Shan in the van, which is Vancouver, not in the van like a mother's driving van, like I said, like a soccer van, but with the Vans off the wall hat. You're a theme woman. I know.
You called it.
I know. Okay, so Shan, you called in. Who are we talking about?
We are doing Angela. I waited until it was Angela.
Okay, perfect. I love how you call in when you're ready for that topic. I'm going to stop asking you what you want to talk about because you come in perfect time.
Got to be prepared.
Okay, go ahead.
So I just think she has an incredible knack of getting people around. You could tell mama and sister were not happy. They were not having it. And by the end, they were laughing.
Yeah.
She's incredible. She has like a gift.
It's her personality. Even though she screams at Michael, I don't think they don't really get to see that crazy, like off the wall side of her. Michael gets to see that. And I still think that they probably, do you think they've seen the episodes there?
I was just going to ask you the same thing. Don't you think that they've gone back on YouTube? Because, they can't get it there. So they've gone on YouTube, typed down Michael and Angela's names, and they must have. No? The sister maybe not mama, but sister?
I mean, obviously, yes, if there's enough people in Nigeria to get on the internet and meet these women and stuff, and they have that internet access, then yeah, obviously.
Right? So yeah. I think we have. And can we talk about the market?
She could just tell people off and get away with it.
That's true too. So the market, I'm really, again, I don't fully know the culture, but I assume that backcountry Georgia has slaughterhouses and farms. Like what was the freak out?
Oh, I have to go against you on this, Shan.
That's okay. We're still friends.
I'm a big good. When I was living in Thailand for a little bit, that one of the biggest things was for them to bring us to a market, and they wanted to show us everything. And I didn't have that kind of freak out, but they were handing us samples of everything. And one of the samples that they handed us was like the squid that the tentacles were still wrapping around the thing. It was like not alive, but like reacting. And my fiance sticks it in his mouth and bites off the head. And he was like, "Nah, this is great." And I was like, "No way, I'm not eating this." I was like, so I get the freak out. It's something different, and you don't recognize it. And a goat's head with its jaw hanging down, that's a little different.
I sort of agree. I don't eat meat. Like I'm a vegetarian, so even when I see commercials on TV, like people cutting their steak, I kind of retch a little bit. But that was over the top. Like it kept going and going. Like poor Michael. I felt a little empathy. I think that was and the throw up. You mean you swish some Coke in your mouth? Is she not always drinking a bottle of Coke? My God, the sugar's on that woman.
She goes through a pack. I love Angela, but she goes through some cigarettes too. She's like, "Give me my lighter." And then I swear, like every time I see her in a different scene, she's lighting a new cigarette. Like it's Angela.
Angela, we want you around for a long time, Angela.
Yeah, no more of that, Angela. Let's see. You'll have to ask Michael if his family has cable on YouTube. Carmen, you're right. I would call. I didn't want to be on camera. I'm in bed. Okay, that's okay.
You guys, you can call in. You can actually blank out your screen. I keep calling because I want to support this lovely man, Adam. So you guys all call in. You can blank out the camera and you can just hear your voice. Support our boy.
Thank you, Shan.
Oh, wait, how does Jess do it?
Shan in the van, but not in a van wearing the van hat. You. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right.
Okay,
Do you have anything else to
call
say about
in.
them?
Sorry?
I said, do you have anything else to say about them?
No, I'm good. Somebody else should call in.
All right. Thank you so much, Shan, for calling in. I'm going to keep the topic moving. All right, guys. So who else do we have to talk about tonight? We have next, we can choose between Larissa and Eric, Karini and Paul, and Asuelu and Kalani. I think I want to go with Karini and Paul. This is a couple that I feel for. You know, I sometimes I feel so bad. Let's see what you guys are saying real quick. No, she's always smoking. Angela buys meat already packaged in price. A chain smoker. Rose isn't wrong. Give me a lighter. Yes, Claudia, you're right. Guys, we have 46 people in the room. Let's push for 50. Let's keep it moving to Karini and Paul. Guys, Paul's trying. He's trying really hard. I don't know what this little shed house thing is that he ended up getting them. I think it's the same thing that like Tanya and Sinjin had. I think it's pretty similar to that. But it's like I don't know. I thought it was nice. I thought it was way nicer than what he showed her before. And I even thought it was nicer than the hotel room. That's probably why she liked it. I think he definitely has to get the thing in the window secured because they don't want to get robbed. And a pillow is not a curtain. I think we agree on that. Clean out the mold from the fridge, and we got a winner. Karini was happy with it. So I think we all agree from here, all he needs to do is get a job. And I don't know if you guys are keeping up with the blogs and the gossip stuff, but they're going to have another baby, so I hope somebody's working. I'm going to go ahead and bring Debbie back in and Shan to sound off if they feel like it. If they don't, I'm going to take them off. Shan's throwing her hat on. Set, go. Hi, hat guys.
Hi, Shan.
Hey, Debbie.
All right, so what are we thinking about? I really feel bad for Paul because I think that he's a little OCD. No, really, I do. Because he's a little OCD in his ways. It's like, I mean, it's a little creepy. I get it. But he's always trying to, like, you could tell he's just some people just don't have it, you know? Like when some people have it, you know, and then some people really try and just life keeps on taking a giant pee on your life. Like, that's what it's like. That's what it is. Jen, you had some faces. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear where's my yeah, let's see Debbie.
Okay, so if Paul is waiting for life to pee on him, I'm sure he has the equipment, the umbrella, the tent, the bulletproof vest, and the 2 dogs outside to protect him from it. Give me a break. If you've got all of that money to buy a bulletproof Moses basket for your kid, you can go and take that money, redivert it elsewhere, like to supporting your family. Or how about if, okay, so tonight he says something that blew my mind away when his mom asked him about getting a job. And he's like, before I even asked, they tell me that my arrest record, blah, blah, blah. Go back to the chicken farm and start shoveling poop. You know,
Well,
like, really?
how did he pay for those dogs? How are you paying?
Those are huge German Shepherds. They eat a lot. Like, go to the Walmart, go to the supermarket, fill out an application. They will take you. Like, get something until you can get something better. He's not even trying. His comfort zone is running to his mom. And I'm so glad that she's holding firm and saying no. She waited 10 years too late, but okay, she's starting now at 36.
No, that's fair. That's actually, you know what? You swayed me. Damn it, you swayed me. I'm swayed. I'm not team Paul anymore.
Where's your little sound maker? I want an applause. Wah, wah.
Womp womp.
Well, I'll chime in. I also agree. Oh, wait, are we ready?
Yeah.
God,
Yep.
this thing is so bad. Whatever.
And
Guys,
that's
if you're watching this, I'm not endorsing this for Amazon.
clearly. I will say that I really want to know what transpired between him and his mom for her to go so far the other side. You guys remember when he left the first time, the hair, the bra?
Hair. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the relationship. Okay, so can I also say that we have some of these son-mother relationships are borderline smothered. That's one of them, and so is Colt and Debbie.
Well,
These
that
are-
used to be one. They could have been on season 1 of Smothered.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
like Colt and Debbie could be the stars of every season.
And then the hair, like the fact that she thought it was okay to cut the hair and be like, it's okay, Paul, like save this for later.
It wasn't even cut it. She took it out of her hairbrush.
Oh, that's even weirder.
Like, that was a whole other level. So I want to know what happened where they were there and now that she will not let him in the house. Nothing. I want to know the fight. I want somebody.
I think
what it is.
Oh, do you think you know, Debbie?
Well, didn't she say that she was tired of working, like she wanted to retire, and that her husband has like a health issue that's like her money needs to go towards that?
Right.
I think.
Well, and I think that they said also that it felt like it was like a bottomless pit. They were always taking care of him, and he has these like outbursts and these anger problems. And once he comes in and moves in the house, it's so hard for them to get rid of him. So a weird way, I think, to justify her kind of sort of strange behavior, I want to say it nicely, her giving the hair and stuff, I think that they were finally, probably for the first time ever, parting ways with Paul. And it was almost like this strange, like, okay, he's in his late 30s, maybe 40s, whatever age he is. I don't know what age he is. Late 30s, whatever. And it's like, okay, you're finally going out there. Good luck. Like, it's my kid. I love you. So I'm going to be weird because I don't know how to do this. And then, boom, now that you're gone, don't come back. I'm not paying for anything, and you're not coming back in my house.
Okay.
Thoughts?
But she was. But her thing with him is that she's like, you make all these bad decisions and then like you have no backup plan and like you don't think through your decisions before doing them. And that was one of the things that she was arguing about but she was advising him not to move to Brazil, not to get involved with Carini. I think she only changed when she saw the grandson, but before the grandson, that very first trip, I think is when she gave him the lock of hair. She wasn't feeling that. She was like, I think this is a mistake. You don't even know the language. Like, how are you supposed to communicate? She was against that trip. And I think she knew in her heart it was going to be a failure. And it was.
And it was.
Well, at least they have their Sitchin house now.
Could they not like apply for social assistance or anything? Like when he says he has no money, can you not apply for stuff like that?
I think he can.
Or food stamps.
Yeah. What state are they in? They're in Kentucky?
Yeah.
Might be a long shot. No, they would. I mean, he can apply. He's the U.S. citizen.
Like having felonies, that doesn't stop you from being able to do those kind of things to get.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Did you guys know this?
I remember something about they were talking. Remember when he spoke to Kareen's dad and he talked about like what he had been charged with, and there was an arson.
Oh, the terrorism thing, right?
Yeah. He threatened somebody and then he got the arson charge and stuff like that because that also messed him up when he was trying to get residency or citizenship in Brazil. They thought it was a terrorist charge.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely changing my mind completely, and I'm not team.
But just like I say about Kanye on the other channels, we can have empathy for him. He clearly has a mental health issue.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we can have empathy, but it doesn't mean I'm on his team.
Yeah. And I hope Karini, honestly, like, I feel bad for some of the people who, like, when you get stuck and you're here and you have to now rely, like, she can only rely on Paul, which is unfortunate because if she didn't have to rely on Paul, I'm sure maybe she could seek help elsewhere and she'd be able to make it work on her own without Paul. But unfortunately, since she's here with Paul, she has to make it.
Right. That's part of the whole, they're responsible for her.
Yeah, or she just has to go back.
Well, and I think she was hoping for a closer relationship with his mom, like how she had with her mom. And I don't think she was anticipating being kind of like frozen out a little bit by relation to Paul. I'm sure if Paul dropped off the face of the earth, she and that kid can move into his mom's house in a heartbeat. It's just that Paul's the issue. But I think his mom can find a way around that, and connect with her and the grandbaby, because she said she was open to babysitting and anything like that. But I think that's the thing that's scaring Karini, is that there's that disconnect between her, Paul, and his mom. It's not what she's accustomed to.
And she was so heavily reliant on her family back at home. That's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
So did we do Kalani and Asuelu yet?
No. Let's kick off Kalani and Asuelu.
Let's go.
All right. So with Kalani and Asuelu, this was interesting because I don't know how to feel. I'm not even going to really completely recap this. Let's just dive in because we all watched the episode. I don't know how to feel about Kalani, the apology that Kalani received from Asuelu, because yes, thank you so much for the apology, but also, why does it take her dad, being the aggressive guy that he is, to make him want to apologize and want to come out of the room? You know what I mean? Like, it feels like a lot. It feels like it takes him not wanting to get his face like punched in to be nice to her.
It's like what you do with like 5-year-olds. Tell them you're sorry, and they say it, but they don't mean it.
Yeah, who wants to? No, that's crazy. And then he's like, this is cultural differences, so somebody said in one of the comments on my thing, they're like, oh, even the way he sounds is like a baby, which that's only because it's a cultural difference. He knows what he's saying. So it's not like there's any, he's very much so like fine. It's a learning English thing, not like he is a baby thing. So he knows how to be respectful, and even know that it's different in Samoan culture, I think he just has to get with it, or else Kalani's going to be let down in this situation.
It's very important, don't you? I felt like their first season, like I really felt they had a genuine connection. Do you, Debbie? Do you have children? Do you mind me asking?
No, I do not. No.
Oh, I definitely can't ask Adam. I feel that when you have a kid, your marriage like can completely unravel, and then they had another one so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really hoping that they can recover from this, because I felt at the beginning they had such a pure and sincere love and a connection, and I hope all it is just the pressure of reality and life and adulting. He's never adulted before, and now he's adulting with children in a foreign country. That can't be.
I agree with you on that, Shan. He's younger than her. He's a lot more immature. Culturally, completely different world that he's coming from. Then you add on him, coming over to the States, getting married, having 2 kids, that's a big learning curve for him. It really is a big learning curve. Yeah, so I don't know. But what did you think about his mom and his sister in Washington State with the...
Wait.
No way. Kalani's face said it all. The way her face is like...
The eye roll was epic.
Yeah, and I don't blame her. And the sister saying, like, your obligations. Pretty much, like, she's saying, your responsibility, don't go against the family. And it's like...
What killed me was, she was like, you need to put your family first. Well, his family is his wife and his kids.
Hello? And he's barely doing that, no offense.
Maybe, how long? I wonder how long they've been there for. Like, have they not, assimilated yet? For lack
They've
of
been there for a while because remember
Yeah.
he said something about they didn't even come to his wedding. They didn't come to the wedding. They got married in California, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were a couple hours away. They could have drove down for that. Why didn't they?
There's not a whole lot of support there, and I think that it's that silly, like, I'm not calling their culture silly, but it's that almost silly mindset. It's silly to us to think like, no, I can't agree with that. If my family really needed something, okay, I understand, but don't think that you're marrying me off to go somewhere to the States because now I'm going to fund the rest of your life. That's like that one family in Thailand that thought that they were Annie's family, who thought they were getting the dowry for like, she's like, you didn't negotiate in the terms of the dowry, so it could go forever. And he's like, what?
Oh, right. I remember that.
From Africa with the guy from Arizona.
Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Africa. Yes.
Yeah. But David messed up his dowry with Annie in Thailand. So again, when Americans are getting foreign spouses, they need to investigate the culture and see what the requirements are. But I can kind of understand Asuelu's family a little bit. I'm originally from the Caribbean, and once you go away, you don't ever forget who's left behind. And you do try to help out as much as possible. But I think that they are like almost blackmailing him. It's like, Mom, yes. It's like, you know what you got to do. What? I got to feed my babies.
I don't do well with people having expectations of me and my money. The second you expect.
But Shan, don't you think he also needs to set those expectations? It's great. They could have theirs, but they also have to understand what your current obligations are. And then you say your expectations, well, I could break you off a 20 this week or 100 or whatever. I don't even think he could afford the 500 that he said, because if they're still living at her parents' house and he's only got a part-time job handing out yogurt samples,
that's what in the chat. They're saying, where are we getting the money?
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I doubt the $500 as well. And I don't think it's a good idea for them to be going over to Washington State to visit those two because, wow, they were just
he wanted to actually go back home. So this was like an attainable compromise. She had to do that for her marriage, I think.
No, I get it. But I would be really scared after that video chat, because if they were that aggressive on the computer, imagine in person, he's going to crumble. He's going to sell Collini's internal organs to get that money.
Yeah, and they're going to sit when they go out to dinner, when they get groceries, whatever they do, they're going to look at him like, you're the man, you should be paying, step up, what's going on? Why aren't you paying for this? Are you going to give us money before you go? So imagine Kalani as somebody who I get like extreme anxiety. I'm so like good with my money and making sure like I'm on top of it. Kalani's face looks like we just took a vacation. We just had the birthday party. We're about to go see your mom and sister, and you eventually want to go to Samoa, and you want to send your mom $1,000. Are you crazy? Like, it's adding up.
Yeah, it's not making
the budget. So he's probably never had to do a budget. And I don't think he's mature enough to have that conversation about expectations and boundaries. He probably, in all honesty, if we look at sort of his abilities, we'll just leave it at that. I don't think he even knows what boundaries are, because he is still in that child mind, not in a mean way. I'm not trying to be, if you're not mature enough to set boundaries, maybe he can send them. Jamal wants to call in.
Yes, Jamal, he does. I love Jamal's comments.
But no, you're right. I only put that up because he was agreeing with what you were saying.
But that's his second funny comment. This guy's sharp.
Mm-hmm. Jamal, please call in.
Jamal Odom, come on down.
Yeah, no, you wanna.
Oh, people want the link. Let's see. Let's see if we can get some more people to call in because we do have our last couple to talk about before we close out.
Yeah, somebody else talk about them. Ugh.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Sonia and Sinjin?
No, I didn't even really take notice to them on the thing.
Were they not on today?
No, I didn't see them.
No,
Oh, sweet.
I think they're next week.
I was talking about Larissa and Eric. All right, I do have one more person in the chat room, so I'm gonna go ahead and see. I think you can do this with 4. I'm pretty sure. So again, guys, I'm getting used to this. So let's bring in Carla. Hi, Carla. Wow, guys,
I love you. You're a whole mood, Adam. I swear. You're like my spirit animal. I love you.
Wow.
And Carla is a funny ass chick, so this is gonna be good.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Okay, so y'all know I want to comment on this Asuelo thing. I just got off Gio's live, and right now it's like I said, I want Lo to stick his whole 10 to 12 foot size shoe up Asuelo's butthole because I'm sick of him. He acts just like a kid. Like, it could be where he's from. His mother could have very well babied him all his life. He probably could still be sucking on the nipple. I don't know. That's not my business. But my thing is, when you signed up to marry that woman and bring your behind over here to America, all your traditions and your customs, they move to the side because your family that you had here in America comes first. Now, I don't have a problem with your family needing some things. That's okay. That's fine. Everybody needs help. And one thing for sure and 2 for certain, they expected him to come to America and to help them back home because that is their dream. Everybody wants to live the American dream. So that's where they messed up at. So now they're mad because Asuelo came over here thinking he was going to live the American dream and send money to his pretty little family back in Samoa. And it didn't happen. So now they mad and they in their feelings. Cry, hoo, boo, hoo. Oh, well, so sad.
Wow.
I told you this. Everything.
Wow. Carla, welcome to Up and Adam. I hope you
Carla has a point. I mean, he can send whatever he can afford to send back to those in Samoa, because they're not as they don't have the opportunities that we might have here. I can get that, but I'm not sending any of my money over to anybody who's over in Washington State.
We're economically imbalanced. How are we going to send anything to anybody? We're economically imbalanced. We can't even take care of ourselves. How are we going to ship money to the next person?
And if mom's got a green card, moms can go out and, send out yogurt samples too.
She can knit those mats where she at, and she can go get her a little vendor stand on the corner, and she can go ahead and do it just like the Mexicans do with their oranges and their strawberries and stuff. Go ahead and go out there and do what it do, boo. Stop talking about you being lazy. You being lazy on your own recognizance, honey. Nah, don't blame that on nobody else.
Do some Samoan treats, just like how Asuelo does on his YouTube channel. Go out there and sample some Samoan treats. You got to put your hands on when you get over
out there
here.
and ate a whole lemon. Talking about it's a sour orange. That was a whole lemon.
Okay, so Carla, since we only have let's say 7 minutes left, what do you think real quick about Debbie and Jess?
Debbie is a manipulator. She is a codependent for her son. She has some type of issue within herself. It could be a separation issue. It could be
she doesn't want to be alone, maybe.
It could very well be that, but she wants to run Colt's life because Colt has basically already been doing that ever since his dad died. Ever since his dad died, Colt has been the primary caretaker for Debbie. Now, he made it clear that she has some type of illness. I'm not sure what illness that could be.
Anybody know? Because I've looked and looked and looked.
And I haven't found anything yet. I've looked. I haven't found anything. There's no mental, there's no drug abuse or anything that I've seen.
No,
right? The only thing that can talk about her is her voice. Everything else seems.
And it could be like maybe a cigarette habit or something. I have no idea. Who knows?
Okay.
And
Anywho,
so,
sorry.
maybe she's just finding ways to, maybe Colt is her, what's the word I'm looking for? They find different ways to have it. Yeah, when people stop smoking, some people switch to eating seeds, or some people, switch to, chewing bubble gum, stuff like that. Maybe Colt is her way for her disease or whatever it is. And she's scared that somebody's going to come and take that away from her.
I agree with
maybe
that.
she's not over the death of her husband. And Colt replaced her husband. Because at first I thought it was an Oedipus complex with Colt towards his mother. But as the seasons have gone on, I think it's more of the dependency is more from Debbie to Colt.
Yeah.
I think she replaced her husband because he died so suddenly. Didn't he say it was a heart attack?
Yeah, it was a heart attack.
Well, I can understand a heart attack.
That definitely brings something to light, because maybe she could be looking in that husband figure that she found in her husband and she sees in Colt.
Yes.
That could
and
very
look what
well
she said to Jess. You're not going to come between us. Like, I think she sees these women as like symbolic heart attacks taking away her man.
Yes.
And when that guy went and kissed her, when they went to Jess's house, yes. Why would you feel uncomfortable with a good-looking, age-appropriate man giving you 2 beautiful kisses? Hello, sign me up. But she almost felt violated.
Yeah.
She's socially awkward, though. When does she get out other than to pick him up from work? Like, she probably doesn't have any.
She stays in the house. She's the cat lady. What cat lady do you know goes outside?
Right? And wait a minute. And let me tell you something else. I think that slot machine that's in their house is tied to her husband, because when Larissa wanted to move that, she went nuts.
Either that
or replacement for her husband.
Either that or that's her addiction right there, gambling.
Oh yeah, they're all gamblers. Her and Colt are gamblers, but that's an old-fashioned slot machine.
Full slot machine, yeah.
And I bet you that used to be her husband.
That it was her. Didn't she say it was a gift from her husband?
Yeah. I don't remember, but there's something like emotional tied to that. Let me tell you, there's so many triggers here with Debbie. She never got over the sudden death of her husband. I bet you anything. And Colt is her husband now in her mind.
Exactly.
She's gonna kill. But listen, she's gonna kill him just like how she killed her husband. Do you see? Every time we see them eating, it's like a 5-inch steak. She's gonna kill him just like she killed her husband. Wake up, Carla. You my friend. Come on.
High cholesterol, girl. You had to resuscitate me, girl. I was dead.
Oh, no. Adam, are you gonna make it?
Okay, I'm done.
You guys are funny.
I told you Carla would bring it.
You had to bring the best for last. Save the best for last.
Yes.
I love that, guys. I love that. So we're at 53 minutes, about to hit our 55. Before we go, I just want to give everybody, I want to ask everybody real quick, what was your favorite part of the episode? Debbie, let's start with you.
Favorite part of the episode, the meltdown at dinner with Jess and Debbie and all of them. Yeah, that whole, bleh.
Okay.
But yeah, it was the highlight.
All right, Shan?
I hope I don't demonetize you. It was Colt on the beach and me trying to check and see what he's working with.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I looked and I didn't see anything.
Everybody was like, ew, put something on. I was like, leave that guy alone, I won't even go out like that.
What are you packing? Because all these girls want you. I want to see it.
He's packing nothing. He's packing nothing but chub rub. He set fire to the Amazon last year.
Fat chunky monkey. That's what I called him, a fat chunky monkey. And he has thang do because his stomach pokes out more than his thang do.
Well, I thought he had a fupa.
Yeah, that's all I saw. I kept looking. I wanted to know that there was a monster in there. Okay, I'll stop.
Okay. Okay, Shan was being a little bit of a weirdo, so Shan, what was your favorite moment?
I own it.
What was your favorite moment?
I think my favorite moment, I hope I don't demonetize you as well, but I just caught the recap of Eric talking about Larissa's private parts.
What?
This guy, guys, next time, so we have to, let's talk about that one on tomorrow night's recap and just come back to it. But this is such a strange relationship, especially because they're pushing each other's fans-only accounts. And the fact that they go through each other's stuff and it's the whole thing is just weird. It's weird. Okay, what is that? Is that what you're sticking with?
Yes, I'm sticking with it because we were talking about it in Gio's episode today, and I just could not stop laughing. I'm still in tears, and I'm about to go back and watch it again. It was that funny.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry.
How about you, Adam? What was yours? What was your favorite?
I honestly, it would have been the Jess and Colt thing, but I have to say since you used that one, I would probably say the fact that Angela stood her ground and she's like, listen, I'm not a Nigerian woman. I've played that game with you. I came here. I played your culture. I've done everything respectfully. Now it's time for me to show you that, damn it, I'm an American woman, and this isn't, you're not going to be at my house and I'm cooking for you all the time. You're going to cook.
Mm-hmm.
So learn how to cook. I love that. It was like when I stood her ground with Andre, I think the episode before when she's like, oh, because you have a job? Oh, that's right. You don't have a job. I love that.
Put him in his place real quick.
Yep. All right. All right, guys. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody coming in. I know this is a totally different network, but if you guys want to, in the morning, we're going to recap the Shaw's reunion part 2. That's going to be our Join Me Live for the Morning 5, all about Shaw's of Sunset reunion part 2. But
Carla, can you watch it?
No, I need to. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch it right now.
Yeah.
you should watch it. And
Watch
if you
it?
haven't watched it, you could just watch the reunion 1 and 2, and it recaps the whole season. You don't miss much. Just about
Okay,
it.
I'd love to hear Carla's take. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Bye,
See you later, guys.
Bye.
I'm gonna get PTSD from this.
You are the best. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
guys.
Does that demonetize talking about people's privates and bathing suits?
No, because you said private.
Oh, good. Okay. Perfect. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening or Sunday evening.
Yeah, guys. Bye. Tomorrow is Monday. We're gonna start it strong. 4 shots of espresso and mimosas. Just kidding. No